Welcome to your Habakkuk Shorts. My name is Stephanie Polens. I'm one of the leaders here at Allure. And we are going to talk about, in this first part, waiting. The prophet Habakkuk had many questions for God, and one of his very first questions was, how long, O Lord, are you going to sit up there and watch what's happening? So I'm going to actually read it to you so that you don't think that that's what the Bible actually says. It says in Habakkuk 1:1 and 2, this is the message that the prophet Habakkuk received from the Lord in a vision. How long, O Lord, must I call for your help, but you do not listen? Violence, I cry, but you do not come to save. So immediately he is real with God. He's asking God, where the heck are you? Why aren't you coming to help me? Let me give you a little bit of background. This is about 600 BC before Christ, and King Manasseh has been ruling in Judah. He is very, very, very bad. In fact, his father, Josiah, was very, 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 very good, and he loved God with everything, and he worshiped God, and he did all the things God wanted him to do. Well, then Manasseh comes along, he starts ruling. He's completely opposite of his dad. He's building altars to other gods. He sacrificed his own son. You can find that in Chronicles. And I mean, it's bad. And not only is he being bad, he's leading the people and they're being bad. So there's a bunch of sin that Judah is committing right now. And prophet Habakkuk is going in and warning them, listen, in 150 years, the Assyrians are going to come in and take you guys captive if you don't do something. So this is the start of Habakkuk's prophecy. He starts by questioning God. He's very real with God. And it's okay to be real with God. God wants us to be real with him. King David was way real with God. In Psalm 139, you see how real. He says, I can't even get away from you. If I make my bed in hell, you're there. If I come up to heaven, you are there. I can't get away from you. Job was very real with God. He was saying, how long do I have to suffer these hardships? And they weren't afraid to ask God the hard questions. They also weren't afraid to ask God how long. So what I want to leave with you today for this first short is, there's stuff in your life, I'm sure, as there's stuff in my life that we're waiting on. We're waiting on jobs. We're waiting on finances. We're waiting on children. We're waiting on spouses to get their act together. We're waiting on husbands. We're waiting on wives. Whatever you're waiting on, God knows, and you can feel free to ask him. But here's the thing, when you ask him, there's a response that God gives. Ready? He could either be silent because it's not the right time to tell you. That's one. Or second, he could tell you, but your heart is so hard that you either don't hear it or you don't accept it, so you keep asking. Or three, you hear God and it's not what you want to hear from God. So those are three negative things. The way God answers us is just how we perceive his answers. What are we doing with what he gives us? Are our heart attitudes right when he answers us? Because we want him to answer us, but when he says something that we don't necessarily like, what do we do? So what I'd like you to do, if you choose to, pick 3 things. What are your top 3 things that you're waiting on? And over the next week, find verses that will help you be able to wait on those 3 things. Cool? All right, you can follow us on YouTube, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube at The Allure Shorts. You can also like us on Facebook at Allure Women's Movement. You can find out anything we're doing with our studies, where we're meeting, what time we're meeting, all that good stuff at www.allurewm.com. And you can tweet with us because we like to tweet, and we're Twitters at AllureWM. So I hope you enjoyed this first short on Habakkuk. Next week we'll go a little bit more into depth with Habakkuk and his responses, or his questions and God's responses. It's going to be good. So hope to see you next week. Bye.